LeBron, Kobe, Carmelo. They're some of the NBA's biggest names and best players. And with that kind of status comes a salary to match. In fact, the NBA pays its players on average more than any other sports league in the world. But it wasn't always like that, especially for men of color.
They was treating us like slaves.
For well over half of its history, the story of professional basketball was not one of equality.
I haven't heard anybody come out and say, what happened before us?
There were 50 years of history prior to the NBA.
Claude Johnson runs the Black Fives Foundation, which documents the history of the first black club teams.
First game between two formally organized black teams took place here in Brooklyn.
On display inside the country's newest basketball arena are photos of the first players of color.
The Smart Set Athletic Club was formed in 1904, and in 1906 they formed the very first African-American basketball team.
It was also the time when ballrooms like the Renaissance in Harlem were in full swing.
This is KDKA.
But that all changed with commercial radio in the 20s.
There were empty ballrooms, which meant that black basketball promoters who previously didn't have a place to play because of segregation, now all of a sudden they were like, wait a minute, let's put two and two together.
One of those promoters, Bob Douglas.
And he said, look, if you let us play here, we'll change the name of our team to the New York Renaissance. During the Depression, the Wrens created a lucrative business model by traveling.
The Wrens became an example for other teams nationwide, like Chicago's Savoy Big Five, a team that eventually became the Harlem Globetrotters.
Some bad dudes, man. They wasn't taking no prisoners.
An attitude both teams brought to the World Championship of Professional Basketball in 1939.
The Wrens won the first World Championship. The next year, the Trotters won it.
Both teams dominated basketball through the 1940s, but there remained an all-black league and two all-white ones.
Those two leagues merged in 1949 to create the NBA. They didn't allow black players at first.
When the rules changed a year later, there were still strict limitations.
There was that unwritten quota system. It's not, it's not a secret that they were allowed 2 black ball players per team. My father told me he wasn't allowed to shoot the ball.
It caused the Wrens to have to fold financially.
But the Globetrotters managed to survive. Owner Abe Saperstein transformed the team in the 1950s.
Are you famous for all kinds of fancy dribbling and trick shots?
Yes.
You're the Globetrotters? Right.
Yes.
Every black kid in America wanted to play with the Trotters.
Winning is the most important thing about it. You gotta win.
Carl Green and Charles Hoxie and Mark Johnson's dad, Andy, all joined the world-famous Globetrotters in the 1950s, still considered one of the most talented pro teams ever assembled.
LeBron James with baseline!
So when you watch the best of the best now, like LeBron, Kobe, and Carmelo, consider this.
But if those guys hadn't been there, could there have been these big NBA guys we have now?
No. No.